On this picture, number 1 correlates with the outer ear, number 2, the middle ear, number 3, the inner ear, and number 4, the 8th nerve. Hearing loss can be in one or both ears. There are 3 types of hearing loss: conductive, sensorineural, and mixed. Conductive hearing loss is the failure of the outer or middle ear to conduct sound properly toward the inner ear. Sensorineural hearing loss is the failure of the cochlea to transform sound energy into neurologic signals that can be interpreted by the brain. Mixed hearing loss is problems in the outer and or middle ear and in the inner ear. Hearing loss ranges from mild to profound. Here is an example of what it sounds like to have hearing loss ranged mild through severe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Aha! You're on my apartment building on Granite Avenue. You owe me $300. Get it up?
Fred, take it easy. It's only a game.
Wilma, I'm just like them big tycoons. I play to win. Now, Barney, pay up or get out of the game.
Busted. That's 1 down and 2 to go. Betty, it's your turn.
I don't have any more money either. You got it all.
Then I'll take the mortgage on your orphan's home. Well, come on, take the dice, will you? Don't just sit there like a dummy.
I will not have you talking that way to our guests. Come on, Barney. I think we'd better
A hearing aid is a device that amplifies sound to help people with hearing loss hear more easily. There are many types of hearing aids. Behind the ear is appropriate for many types and degrees of hearing loss. This is the best option for kids because the ear mold is comfortable and can be easily changed as a child grows. Behind the ear with a receiver in the ear is smaller than the normal behind the ear with less occlusion. In the ear is made to fit within the external ear. In the canal is much smaller than behind the ear and is more effective for greater hearing losses. Completely in the canal is hard to see and normally chosen for cosmetic reasons. Each hearing aid has an ear mold that is specifically molded for each individual. Individual needs may determine which hearing aid is best. Some determining factors are hearing loss severity, how active the client is, how clear does speech sound, is assistance required with the hearing aid, is cost a factor, and are cosmetics important. How a hearing aid works. Hearing aids amplify sound based off of 2 components: pitch or frequency of the sound, and loudness or intensity of the sound source. They all have a power source or a battery. A hearing aid contains 1 or more microphones to pick up the sound, an amplifier that amplifies and processes the sound, and a receiver that sends the signal from the amplifier into the ear. An important thing you must remember is environment matters. Fundamentals of acoustic include proper lighting, distance between the teacher and the student, angle of the teacher, sound reverberation, which is when the original signal reflects off surfaces. 3 kinds of surfaces: reflector, absorber, and diffuser. Troubleshooting. If the device does not seem to be working properly, or you notice that the child is distracted, you should check the equipment and troubleshoot the device. Make sure the battery still has power, and make sure the battery door is shut. Make sure the tubing doesn't have dents, cracks, moisture, or wax buildup. Make sure the device is turned on. Perform a listening check by putting the sound hook into the stethoscope, turning the hearing aid on, and talking into it. Increase and decrease the volume to make sure the device is working properly. If whistling occurs, reduce volume. The whistling is called feedback. It could be due to a poor ear mold fit, excessive cerumen, rips in the tubing, and cracks in the hearing aid. If your hearing aid has distortions, this could be the ear mold, the soundboard, or dirt. When performing a listening check to the hearing aid, lightly squeeze the hearing aid, manipulate the volume, and perform these following Ling 6 sounds. Hold it back 6 inches from your mouth. most of the time the problem is the batteries. This is a hearing aid care kit. Every one comes with a listening stethoscope, hearing aid spray, an ear mold syringe, a battery tester, and a wire loop. This is a listening stethoscope. It lets you listen to how the hearing aid sounds. This is a normal behind the ear hearing aid with an ear mold. To use the listening stethoscope, you remove the ear mold from the hook. You replace the auditory end of the listening stethoscope onto the hook. You put the ear portions of the listening stethoscope in your ear. Turn the hearing aid on, increase and decrease the volume to make sure the listening device is working properly. This is the battery tester. To test the battery, you need to open the case, remove the battery, put it into its respected size, and press down on the blue button. In this case, the battery needs to be replaced. When using the ear mold air syringe, first separate the ear mold and the tubing from the hearing aid. Insert the nozzle into the ear mold tubing. Pump air through the tubing until the moisture has been removed. Replace the ear mold and the tubing back onto the hearing aid. This is the wire loop. It can be used to clean wax or debris out of the ear mold opening. There's also a brush attached to it. This can be used to clear any debris from any sides of the hearing aid or the ear mold. To use the hearing aid spray, spray onto the ear mold and wipe off until dry. Do not submerge the ear mold in the hearing aid spray. If all else fails, you may need to refer to an audiologist to get a new ear mold or hearing aid, because sometimes they just break. Another option you may want to look into is an FM system. FM systems transmit the teacher's signals directly to the receiver in the hearing aid. Even though they don't cut down on background noise, they cut down on reverberation and distance the sound has to travel.